By 1970, American muscle cars had crossed into dangerous territory. These were no longer just fast machines, they were becoming difficult to control. Factory-built cars were launching from 0 to 60 in nearly 5 seconds and running quarter-mile times once reserved for dedicated drag racers, all while being fully street-legal and widely accessible. On paper, the numbers seemed manageable. In reality, traction was limited, braking struggled to keep up, and full throttle control was far from guaranteed. The margin for error was shrinking fast. Insurance companies had started reacting, regulators were beginning to watch. But inside Detroit, the answer wasn't caution, it was escalation. More power, more speed, more risk. What began as competition had turned into a race to dominate. In this video, we break down the 5 1970 muscle cars that ruled the quarter-mile machines that pushed performance to its absolute edge just before everything changed. Number 1. Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6. The 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6 was not built for balance, it was built for force. Under the hood sat the LS6 454 cubic inch V8, officially rated at 450 horsepower, though its real output was widely understood to be higher. Every component inside that engine was designed for one purpose: deliver maximum power without compromise. From 0 to 60 miles per hour, the Chevelle LS6 accelerated in approximately 5.4 seconds. On the quarter mile, it consistently delivered low 13-second runs with trap speeds exceeding 105 miles per hour. These were not rare results, they were repeatable, making it one of the most dominant factory-built machines of its time. But the numbers only tell part of the story. The real experience began the moment throttle was applied. Torque arrived instantly, often overwhelming the rear tires before the car could fully settle. Launching it required control, timing, and restraint. Too much input, too early, and traction would disappear. Weight transfer became critical. Drivers who understood how to manage it could unlock the car's full potential. Those who didn't often found themselves fighting for control. The suspension, designed for straight-line performance, was pushed to its limits under this level of power. Despite all of this, the Chevelle was widely available. It could be purchased through standard dealerships, making its extreme performance accessible without restriction. It was not forgiving. It demanded respect. And on the quarter mile, it delivered exactly what it was built for: dominance. Number 2. Plymouth Hemi Cuda. The 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda approached performance with a different kind of aggression. It took the same philosophy of raw power and compressed it into a smaller, more compact platform. Under the hood sat the 426H Hemi V8, officially rated at 425 horsepower. But in real-world conditions, it delivered far more than the numbers suggested. From 0 to 60 miles per hour, the Hemi Cuda reached approximately 5.3 seconds. Its shorter wheelbase gave it a sharper, more explosive launch, allowing it to come off the line with immediate force. On the quarter mile, it consistently delivered mid-13-second runs, backed by strong trap speeds that reflected its true capability. But this performance came with intensity. The compact chassis made the car highly reactive. Under hard acceleration, every input mattered. Steering, throttle, even subtle weight shifts could change the car's behavior. It was not forgiving. It demanded precision. Traction was always on the edge. The HEME delivered power aggressively, and without careful modulation, wheel spin could take over instantly. The rear tires were constantly being tested, especially under hard launches where control was critical. Yet, in the right hands, the Hemi Cuda became one of the most effective quarter-mile machines of its era. Its aggressive gearing, rapid throttle response, and compact weight distribution created a car that felt alive under acceleration. It did not hold back. It pushed forward with urgency, forcing the driver to stay fully engaged at every moment. It was not built for comfort. It was not built for ease. It was built to perform at the edge, and it stayed there. Number 3. Plymouth Hemi Road Runner. The 1970 Plymouth Hemi Road Runner delivered the same 426H Hemi power, but with a different kind of execution. It retained the raw output, officially rated at 425 horsepower, but placed it into a longer, more stable platform that offered improved control under acceleration. From 0 to 60 miles per hour, the Hemi Roadrunner reached approximately 5.4 seconds. On the quarter mile, it consistently recorded mid-13-second runs, matching the performance of more aggressive platforms while offering greater stability. The difference became clear during launches. The longer wheelbase allowed the car to settle more effectively under power, reducing the unpredictability seen in shorter chassis designs. Drivers could apply throttle with more confidence, maintaining traction more consistently. Its design remained simple. Minimal interior features, reduced weight, and a clear focus on function over refinement. There were no unnecessary elements, only what was required to perform. But beneath that simplicity was a carefully balanced machine. It delivered HEMI-level performance without the same level of volatility. It was not as sharp or reactive as the Cuda, but it offered something equally valuable: control. And in an era where power was rapidly outpacing stability, that control made all the difference. That balance is what defined the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Roadrunner. While others chased outright aggression, this car translated power into usable performance. The 426 Hemi delivered the same brutal output, but the platform allowed it to be applied more effectively. Drivers were not constantly correcting or fighting the car. Instead, they could focus on consistency, something that mattered just as much as raw speed on the quarter mile. The suspension, though basic by design, worked in its favor. It absorbed weight transfer more predictably, keeping the rear planted under acceleration. This allowed the Roadrunner to deliver repeatable results run after run. It was not about one perfect launch, it was about reliability under pressure. Over time, this consistency gave it an advantage in real-world racing scenarios, where conditions were rarely perfect and adaptability became critical. In real-world conditions, that made a difference. While other cars demanded precision and experience, the Roadrunner offered a more controlled path to the same performance numbers. It proved that dominance was not always about being the most aggressive, it was about being the most effective. Number 4. Pontiac GTO Ram Air 4. By 1970, most manufacturers had committed to one formula: bigger engines, more torque, more immediate force. Pontiac chose a different path. The GTO Ram Air 4 was engineered around airflow, efficiency, and sustained performance rather than sheer displacement. Its 400 cubic inch V8, officially rated at 370 horsepower, delivered its strength in a different way. High-flow cylinder heads, an aggressive camshaft, and the functional Ram air system allowed the engine to breathe more efficiently, especially at higher speeds. From 0 to 60 miles per hour, the GTO Ram Air 4 reached approximately 5.8 seconds. It did not dominate the launch like larger big-block engines, but it gained strength as the run progressed. On the quarter mile, it consistently recorded low to mid-13-second times, maintaining speed through controlled, sustained power delivery. The difference was immediately noticeable. Power came in progressively, allowing drivers to manage traction rather than fight it. Where others struggled to contain their output, the GTO maintained composure. Its chassis balance and suspension tuning supported this, offering stability under acceleration that many competitors lacked. This was not the most aggressive machine in the lineup, it was one of the most refined. It showed that performance was not only about how much power you had, but how effectively you could use it. That engineering philosophy gave it a unique identity among cars that relied heavily on brute force alone. Number 5. Buick Grand Sport GSX Stage 1. The 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1 approached performance from an entirely different angle. It did not rely on high-revving power or aggressive delivery. Instead, it focused on one thing: torque. Its 455 cubic inch V8 was officially rated at 360 horsepower, but that number did not reflect its real capability. The engine produced massive torque, delivered instantly and consistently, giving it one of the strongest launches of any muscle car of its time. From 0 to 60 miles per hour, the GSX Stage 1 accelerated in approximately 5.5 seconds. On the quarter mile, it consistently recorded mid-13-second runs, matching competitors with higher advertised horsepower. The key difference was how easily it achieved those numbers. The torque did most of the work. Drivers did not need to push the engine to extreme RPM levels. They could apply throttle earlier, launch harder, and maintain control more effectively. Even in less than ideal conditions, the GSX remained predictable. Where other cars struggled with traction, the GSX found grip through its torque delivery. The Stage 1 package enhanced this further, with internal upgrades and refined tuning that pushed performance beyond official figures. At the same time, Buick maintained its focus on comfort. The GSX was not stripped down or overly aggressive in design. It delivered high performance without sacrificing composure, creating a machine that could dominate the strip while remaining controlled on the street. This combination of strength and refinement made it stand out in a field where most competitors sacrificed comfort entirely for speed. It did not demand attention, it delivered results. By the end of 1970, the warning signs were impossible to ignore. These cars had gone beyond competition. Acceleration had outpaced control, and power had pushed past what tires, brakes, and drivers could safely handle. The response came fast. Insurance costs surged. Regulations tightened. Emissions laws began reshaping engines. The window that allowed this level of performance was closing. The peak had been reached. Within a few years, horsepower dropped, compression ratios fell, and the raw muscle car began to fade. What was once a race for dominance turned into a shift toward control. The era of unchecked power was over. These 5 machines represent more than speed. They capture a moment when manufacturers pushed as far as they could without limits. Different approaches, different philosophies, but the same result. They ruled the quarter mile. Today, they remain icons of an era that cannot be repeated. Their legacy still lives in every performance car chasing pure speed. If this kind of automotive history matters, hit like, share it with others who appreciate real muscle. Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more stories from the era that pushed performance further than ever before.